Hi, guys. Welcome back to Same Team, Different Jerseys. As you know, Sonia, Damien, and Hannah. And Happy New Year. We're
Happy New
finally in
Year.
2026, so we're finally
Whoop,
here.
whoop.
I don't know how we got here, but we're finally here.
Yeah, guys, only like 8 more months and we'll have been doing this for a year.
Nice.
Oh, damn. We've been doing
Only
this
8.
for...
It's fine.
No,
We've been
it's like
doing
way
this
more
for
than
4
that.
months?
That's just a guesstimate. But this will be our
13th episode.
13th episode. So
Yeah.
that's 13 weeks.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I think we started, in October?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so we've got 10 months. We have a while.
Yeah. So does anybody have any New Year's resolution? You guys are going to see this on Monday. We're recording this on the 1st. So
No, not really. The goal this year is to move.
I'm old and stubborn in my ways. And if you don't like me the way I am,
I
ain't
think
going to fucking change.
I think I stopped doing New Year's resolutions 2 years ago. They're a joke. They're a
Start
joke.
drinking less.
Okay. I have 4
Just
days
be like
off.
me
What
and
am I supposed
don't
to
drink
do?
at all.
You know. Do you see who I live with? I love him, but
I think that's rude.
I love you.
Love you too, baby.
As she takes a big swig.
Yeah. If you guys haven't figured it out, yeah, she's drinking every episode.
Just about, yeah.
No, it's been every.
It's been
It's
every,
been every?
not
No.
just about. It's been every episode she
Yeah.
has alcohol.
Huh.
This is my busted alcohol cup because we put it through the wash because I'm lazy and I
Well,
don't
if
like
we had
hand
known
washing
this was going to
things.
turn into the 3 of us, I feel like we should have picked a better name now.
No, fuck it. We started this. She came in after, but she didn't even know if she was going to want to do this. So
Yeah, that's true.
That was an
It is what
afterthought.
it
It's
is.
fine. Plus,
Oh.
like same team, different jerseys. Like I bat for both, so
yeah, I
It
am
applies.
straight, you're gay, and she's bi. This is all 3 spectrums of the LGB because the TQ needs its own fucking
yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, we did that episode.
I
Pissed
think
off
we can
a
all
few
agree
people.
on that.
Nothing pissed off. You know what? We bashed on the transgender that whole episode, and they didn't even get as pissed as the teachers.
Yeah, that was
the
wild.
teachers episode. I feel like we need to come back to that.
Oh my god!
I feel like at a later date we have to circle back onto the teachers and really
Holy, those
dig
teachers,
into that topic.
fucking teachers got brutal. They got
Mad. Bro, they were
pissed.
pissed.
Yeah.
Super pissed.
All because you said,
They need a dress
That
code.
they should have to wear a type of dress code.
yeah, that was it. You got, like, who's the tattoo neck girl telling us what to do?
Yeah, like, are tattoos appropriate for teachers? Like, look, bitch, if I wanted to be a teacher, I probably wouldn't have a neck tattoo. But I don't see a problem with a neck tattoo as a teacher. So,
But would you be upset if you got a teaching job and they said everything's fine, we just need you to somehow, put a
cover.
bandit cover that up? Would you do it? Like, you're expecting all the other teachers to dress a certain way. Out of your own logic, would you
So
cover
it
it up?
depends, right? It depends on the type of school. Like public school, like probably not. Like public school, y'all don't pay enough, and 2, you guys do not have the station of being so like I would never expect a public school to be like, here's your uniform, this is what female teachers have to wear, this is what male teachers have to wear, this is what admin staff has to wear. Like you would probably never see a public school go to that degree because they are just that. They are a public school.
If you had
But
a
if it
public
was
school that
like-
did it,
They
said, "This is our
if
uniform."
they were like if they were up to par with it all and they were like towing the line and they were being what everybody envisions the best public school to be, right? Then yeah, sure. But
Okay.
like if it's just like a run of the mill public school, like garbage, like nah, dude. No, you don't have
No,
the station. I'm
no,
sorry.
that I get. So if
You know.
they obeyed the other rules, you would dress the way they want. Like,
Yeah,
got it.
but if there was just like some like we'll take an example, like the public schools that I have gone to in Arizona, right? Like a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
barely enforcing, like nowadays they don't even have a fucking dress code. Like there's no dress code at all.
Yeah, the
You
students
know?
walk around like hoochies and
Yeah. Like girls can walk around with their fucking ass cheeks and coochies hanging out and
Yep.
it doesn't matter. So a teacher can do the fucking same. But
Well,
like going to a school where like, they're having this standard that, teachers and admin need to look professional, that is of a proper setting to their job titles, right? Because, like, I get it, right? Like, a lot of the people in the comments were like, oh, I'm not only a teacher, but I'm also a coach, and I mow the fields, and I do this, and I do that. And it's like, okay, one, if you're a fucking teacher, why are you mowing the fields? Like, that's a fault of your school, not you. That's a fault of your public school that you probably work for, that one doesn't have enough money to pay groundskeepers to go and clean up trash, mow the football field, or mow the fucking lawns surrounding the area and to keep up landscaping. So that's a fault on your school, not a fault of
yeah,
you. You chose
yeah.
to do that, and now that they know that they'll do it, they're gonna
Yep.
keep asking you to do it.
So when you worked the
So
schools, baby, they did have a few dress codes. The one I think you got nailed for the most, that the kids hated the most, like out of all of them, were the hats.
Yeah, so I can't believe we ended up back on this conversation, but yeah,
it's okay.
so I think for us, I think the biggest thing was the hats in general. So I was there for 2.5 years, right? And the first year was absolutely no hats. Outside, inside, didn't matter, no hats. And then the second year it was like, yeah, all right, fine, y'all can have your hats outside, but you can't have them inside, right? Okay, cool. And by the third year, I got to a point where we stopped enforcing it altogether as security. We stopped enforcing it because we would walk by classrooms and every single student would have their hat on that we just asked them to take off in the hallways. So you get to a point where you stop fighting battles. And it was easier when it was like a no hat policy at all, right? Because then you could be like, okay, no hats whatsoever. Hey, give me your hat or go to the office. But
See,
then,
that's mind blowing to me that that's security's responsibility. Like that's not security's
so
responsibility.
it's
Your
not
job is
anymore.
not like your job as a security officer at a school, whether you're armed or unarmed, is not dress code enforcement. Your job is the safety. So like the school that you were talking about, right, is the same school that I graduated high school from. And
Yeah.
when I went to school there, it was a lot more disciplined. There was a lot higher of a standard, right?
Well,
We had a dress code, we had uniforms.
the principal
Like
wasn't a wet
hats,
noodle.
yeah, hats. If you walked onto campus with a hat, cool, whatever. But as soon as that first bell rang for you to go to class, you could not have your hat on at all.
Yeah.
The only time they would allow hats was like during winter time. You could have beanies on
Yep.
if you were outside. The second you stepped inside, you couldn't have a hat on. If you wore a jacket with a hood, you couldn't have a hood on
Yeah.
ever. Like never. Like, but teachers enforce that. The security officers that we did have there, and the we had a resource officer who worked for the county that would come in and work.
Yep. That's
But
still a
like
thing.
the most they ever did was like, if you, at the time we had planners, they stopped doing passes because teachers would do like obscene, ridiculous fucking passes. So they just did planners. So in the back of your planner, you had like 3 pages worth of passes.
Yep.
So the teacher would sign it. You would write where you were going, right? They would time you in, and then they'd time you out, and then they had to time you in when you got back. So you'd be carrying around your planner, and the most the security officers would do is check to see that the date was today and the time was relatively close to the time that they found you. And that was it. Like that's the only interaction they had with students, minus like obviously getting them out of the halls or uncrowding the bathrooms and shit. But like they didn't enforce dress code. They didn't enforce none of that shit. That's stupid as fuck.
So now they don't enforce any of that. The dress code is completely not on security. Like it's gone so far as to point where like the security guards aren't even allowed in the bathrooms anymore. Like they walk up to a bathroom and they're like, hey, we're coming back in, 2 minutes. If y'all aren't cleared out, I'm calling for admin. And you have to wait. But the principal at said high school is literally a wet noodle. Like he is useless. There is no consequences. There is no nothing. And it's to the point that teachers stopped following all of the rules because they would send the kid out, right? We would go and get the kid, walk him to the office, and 2 seconds later, that same kid back in class doing the same thing.
Yeah.
There's no
So
discipline.
And
Anyway,
I get it, right? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand. I've seen a lot of, like, disciplinary admin on, like, TikTok and some other stuff that have, like, basically said that, like, for public schools, it's kind of fucked now, right? Because
yeah,
public schools get their money based off how many asses are in seats.
yep,
So, it's against them to expel or even suspend
yep.
kids, right? Because it eventually will lead, if that kid doesn't get back on track, right, of being a very respectful, disciplined student in the classroom,
Yep.
that student eventually will get expelled, right? And so if they get expelled from that school, they're expelled from that entire school district.
Yeah,
So
no,
now
not
they
here.
only have, huh?
Not here. Not anymore.
Yeah, so that's how it used to be there. Like if you got expelled, like if you were in the public school system and you got expelled in middle school from that school district, like you couldn't go to any other middle school unless it was another school district or another public school organization, and you couldn't go to that school ever again. Like you couldn't go to that same school district's high school, none of it.
So we've gotten kids that have been expelled from the other side of town, and this side of town gets them.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, like so I get why like the discipline is so low, but like all that does is give all the power to your students, which
yep,
just creates more run of the
monsters.
mill bad, yeah, that think rules don't apply to them. Like, oh, you're not going to expel me, like you're not going to suspend me because they know damn right that their ass being in that seat gives
Is
you
more
money.
important. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I
it's
was
like
ex-
mind boggling to me. Like that's why I have this whole issue with like my tattoos, right? If I was to go work for a public school system, if that school went toe in the line and they're gonna ask me like, "Oh, as an admin, as a teacher, you have to follow the rules." I'd be like, "But you're not enforcing your students to follow the rules? Like, fuck you, bro. Like, I'm not working for you."
Yeah.
Now, if you're a public school that's toeing the line, that's doing a great job, sure, by all means, whatever. Do I think it's ridiculous? Yeah, because I think tattoos have no reflection on a person's value or professionalism or education level or any of it.
so as fun as this is, we already did this
Mhm.
episode. I know we can get into this. We could probably do a whole other 2-hour episode in schools all
Oh
over
yeah.
again. But I had a couple things I wanted to talk about, and one of them was the H-1B visa thing, but that got pushed to the side. Have you guys been? It has something to do with immigration, so it's not that far off the topic. Um, have you guys paid attention to the fraud in Minnesota allegations that's going
Just
on?
what
Or
you've
you?
told me.
What about you, Hannah? Have you heard about this?
I think I've skimmed something on it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have been so unattached to my phone the past, like,
2 weeks.
yeah,
Oh,
that I haven't been keeping up on, like, anything.
okay. If anybody doesn't know,
I'm
yeah,
on,
she's
like,
on
my
vacation.
I'm on, like, my, I've read 2 books in 2 days, so, like,
Which is good. You should
yeah.
unplug from this whole landscape sometime. So you're on vacation. That's fine. You're always unplugged, Sonia. So recap really quick. Nick Shirley, an independent journalist, went to Minnesota and he started going around the city investigating all the childcare centers. So there's a couple hundred childcare centers, all ran in the Somali district, all ran by Somalis. And he found that there's no students going there. None.
Oh,
they're just collecting the money.
oh,
So now there's been a lot of videos. In fairness, there's been some videos that came out that said, well, he came during off hours. He came at like 10 in the morning. So, and they said, well, we don't open till 2. They're open from 2 PM to 10 PM.
Which is
Day
sketchy, but
daycare centers. And they're supposed to have like 90 students, and there was not one. And he started asking people around in the neighborhood, and the people were like, we've never seen anybody there. There's signs on the wall that say, something learning center. Actually, they spelled it wrong. It's called Leering Center. But he visited all these places, and what he tried to do was he pretended to try to get his son enrolled. He wanted to get his son enrolled in a daycare. He had doors slammed in his face, saying that they don't take kids, they don't all kinds of stuff. And these people are getting, we're not talking millions, and we're not talking hundreds of millions.
I'm talking billions.
There's right now, he in 45 minutes discovered $111 million. Just fraud, waste, and abuse. Just they're collecting the taxpayer money, and they're not. And
We're
I
in the wrong
didn't
business, guys.
we are. Apparently we are.
Apparently, we need to open a daycare.
But from what I understand, I've been to these other countries, and as much as the world or Americans, especially the left, hate hearing it, other cultures don't give a shit about our culture. They don't give a rat's ass. They don't have our same values. They don't have anything that's ours. And they'll take our money in a heartbeat. They don't care. And Alan Omar, I know I say her name wrong. I'm sorry. And by the way,
Are
this
you
is
really, though?
what?
Are you actually sorry?
I am. I don't like mispronouncing people's name.
Okay. I wouldn't give a shit.
Uh, I actually, one of the biggest things on my TikToks that I get yelled at for is I can't pronounce my R's. So they were like, we're not listening to anybody that can't speak English. Like,
Oh,
go
that's
fuck
crazy.
yourself.
I would love to ask like 90% of your fucking followers if they can actually pronounce synonym or cinnamon correctly.
Or suddenly, or not suddenly, my bad. Supposedly instead of
Or
supposedly.
specifically instead of pacifically.
I probably say them all wrong, but I can't say my R's. I have a speech impediment. It is what it is. But so what do you guys think? Do you and hold on, let me pop this up and share it. So Trump stopped all funding. He said, nope, Minnesota. Remember, this is Tim Walz's state. Tim Walz, the one that was going to be our vice president.
Of course it is.
He approved all this, by the way.
Of course he did, because he's probably, this sounds very similar to the huge scandal that was going on like over the summer against the governor of Arizona, Holtz.
Yes.
How like she got a big donation from a specific company that deals in mental health, and she basically took the money saying that she would approve the bill to up their funding and how much they can charge. It's all very interesting.
So
she's a Democrat too, by the way. Just saying.
So my question to both of you is, do you think we should show some compassion, or do you really think that, like, I'm sorry, if you're not an American citizen, we need to start from scratch, you got to go?
Look, I am extremely pro-America. I am extremely patriotic, right? Like, to my core. Like, when I lived alone, my house, my decorations, my choice of decor in my house was red, white, and blue. Like, everything was fucking American flag and fucking eagles and thin blue line, and I'm extremely patriotic. So I'm pro-America. If it's pro-America, if it benefits the American people, then I'm all for it. Like, and that sounds harsh because, like, I get that, like, America was founded by immigrants and, like, we stole this land from Native Americans and what the fuck ever, dude.
We didn't.
Okay, but I mean, like, we did. We conquered North America from the Indians, right? Whatever. But if we hadn't done that so many years ago, like, if people had not founded America, like, we would not be where we are today. Like, I truly 100% believe that, like, if we had just come over here and, like, conquered a little bit of land and let the Native Americans do what they wanted to do, like, we would not be where we were at today. We would not have the technology and the advancements that we have today. Would we have less problems? Probably, yes, because with anything in life that you advance, right, comes in greed and tyranny and just all the fun stuff that we know is human fucking nature. That's been proven time and time again. But Yeah, if it's pro-America, I'm all for it. Like, I say get rid of everybody who's an illegal immigrant. Like, if you're not here legally, get the fuck out. Try again. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Okay.
And I don't agree with, like, letting foreigners come and buy a fucking property or start a business over here. Like, I don't believe in any of that. Like, if you're not a fucking American, you don't need to be over here. I also don't agree with, like, our big name company brands going to foreign nations and building their, uh, development headquarters there or their fucking sweatshops to have people make their shit for less money. Like, I don't believe in any of that. So, like, if you're here and you're an American and you want to start a company, then the company stays here. Like, everything we should be making that's based out of America should be made in America.
That goes along with taxes and stuff like that. That's complicated. I don't
Like, I'm
think
all about, like, if you want to import goods, right? Like, fucking rubber, okay? Like, if we can't make our own rubber here in America, then cool, import your rubber and pay for it. But what you shouldn't be doing is being like, oh, it would make so much more sense just to go down there, buy up some land in wherever that the fucking rubber runs abundance in, and build a company there or build a building there that harvests that rubber and makes your creation, because it's costs you, to make 20 pairs of shoes, it's only going to cost you $200. But if you were to do it in America, because of the importing of goods and all this other bullshit, well, now it's going to cost, $500 to build 20 pairs of shoes. Like, cool, I get it, whatever. But, like, that's the cost of being an American and having a business in America. Like, if you don't want that, then fucking give up your citizenship, go be a citizen of that country, and make your fucking shit over there, and then sell it as a product of their country. Like,
so.
tough nuts, dude.
So,
Tough nuts.
Sonia, you and I worked at the same place, and I don't know if you've experienced this yet. You've never told me. What do the Hispanics and everybody at your job, because if you've ever seen her job, you have 99% Julios and 1%
Johns.
Jeff.
So
what do the legal ones think about the illegal ones?
So one, not so much. But with that being said, yeah. So a lot of times, it's really hard, but you talk to them, right? Especially, like, I'm a white girl from Jersey. I should have paid more attention in Spanish class, like, because that was, at the time, that was like 90% of our truck drivers. And so I should have paid more attention, but I didn't. And so when we had Spanish-speaking truck drivers, I would call for a translator, especially if it was for one of the specific companies. I would be like, hey, when you get down here, like, I need help. So every single one of them that is here legally, went through the process, did all of the things, is a legal citizen of America, every single one of them complained. They came here, they learned English, they learned, how to drive and how to do all of the things. And so every single one of them had more, I would even venture to say, hatred for the ones that were here illegally, because they went through the process, because they went through, and it's we're not talking about, like, you get here and a week later you apply for citizenship and then a week later you take your test. Like, no, this is a months long process, if not years, depending on your caseworker, depending on where you're at in your in your English speaking, depending on where you're at in even just, I found out, just state, even state to state is different. So the legal ones did not speak very kindly of the ones that were here illegally, and it got ugly. Like, there was, I remember a very, very, very handful of times, or I should say very frequently, excuse me, that I had to be like, all right, guys, like, go to work, because this conversation just got really uncomfortable for me. And they would call the illegals those racist, horrible names.
You have never met... Everybody thinks that white people are the racist ones. You have never seen a more racist person than a legal immigrant talking about an illegal immigrant. They fucking hate them with a passion.
But the other thing, too, is, like, we're one of the only countries that you can come over here and not bring anything, right? So in Canada, perfect example, I have an uncle who, or not an uncle, a cousin, who lives up there with his wife and kids. And he had to be invited by his wife, and he had to
Mhm.
prove to them that he could bring something to their economy
Mhm.
because of whatever trade or whatever he did.
Mhm.
And that's with like even Germany. I had a friend that
Oh
lived over
yeah,
there for a bunch of years.
there's a lot of countries that you can apply for the visa, right?
Yep.
And stay on top of it and be there, but you have to be there for so long
Yep.
before you can even attempt to become resident or citizen of that country. And if you do not bring value to their country,
They won't
they
accept.
deny
Yep.
you. Like you
Yeah.
have to
And with,
have some type of value. Like you have to add
yep.
to the workforce. You
And
have to have a
Canada's one of the biggest
skill.
ones.
You have to
And
have a skill, you have to have a trade, and if you don't
yep.
have these things, like, if you're just like, "Oh, I hate my country, so I wanna come live here, and I'll figure it out as we go along," like, "Nah,
No.
dude.
No.
Bye. See you
And
later."
Canada is one of the ones too that, and maybe Europe does it, I don't know, but Canada specifically, like you have to be at home in Canada for at least 6 months out of the year. My cousin was not allowed to travel, and like my family lives 45 minutes from the border of Canada, right?
And you have
And
family in Canada.
yeah, and I have family in Canada, and you know, he wasn't allowed to come home and visit for the first, I think, like year and a half or something, because they needed him to prove that he was willing to live there and be there, and he was willing to prove that that's like he wanted to live there. He wanted to be with his wife, and it worked out for him, like I said, obviously, because I think he's only like an hour and a half between, but the worst part was specifically during COVID, he wasn't allowed over here at all. Because if he came over here, he had to quarantine for 2 weeks, mandatory. And it wasn't like a little bit of quarantine. No, like he had to find a hotel as close to the border as he could get, be like, hey, I'm coming home, and quarantine from every single person. There was no, let's just hop back and forth real quick. There was none of that during COVID.
Yeah, I'm very right leaning on this. I want you to come to my country and enjoy it. I think I have the
Yeah.
greatest country in the world. I am more than happy if you want to apply for the visa, do everything that it takes to come to this country. We let in over 1 million people a year legally, which is more than any country, a lot of countries all put together. Like we are the top immigrant country in the world. And the fact that it was just open borders for 4 years and millions of people just flooded in. Like I'm sorry, Cash Patel, all those people, fucking round them up. I have no, and these people that are yelling like they didn't get their day in court, they can get it. They just need to wait on that side of the border.
So, genuine question, but, and I guess this goes for both Hannah and Damien, but do you guys feel like because you've seen other countries, like you feel differently than like Americans that have never been outside of the country?
These spoiled little people that have lived in America their whole entire life have no idea how privileged and honored they are to be in this country. The other countries do not like you think you're going to go to Germany or
I think blessed is the word you're looking for, not honored, because they're not honored to be an American citizen.
good, blessed, but blessed to be okay, I'll take that correction. Blessed because other countries, the Middle East is sorry a shithole. I've been there so many times. I've been to all of them and it's terrible. A lot of the people are nice, but the places are shitholes.
So that's kind of wild to me too, that people think that like the Middle East is has better economy than we do. Because
Fucking Dubai does. That's the
yeah,
only one
which
they compare it to is Dubai.
okay, but if you take like the entire Middle East and they're like, "Oh, well they have rights over there."
No, they don't.
No, they don't. The women have to be covered from head to toe, and that's not their choice. And I'm not bashing on other religions. Like if you want to be that person to cover yourself, have at it. But I believe that it should be your choice. I don't think that you should have to be married to a man that, you know, tells you Like, a lot of those countries don't even allow their women to drive.
It's so funny that in previous episodes, right, we've talked about like women submitting to their husband. If you want true definition of a woman submitting to their
Submission.
husband,
Yeah.
total utter submission,
Yeah.
go to the Middle East. You
Yep.
will experience it.
Yep.
They do not talk to men that are not their husband, right? They do not. I mean, you look at the Middle East and stuff, and like they go to the extreme of like not showing any skin. That the only thing that is visible to anybody other than their husband is their fucking eyes. Like they are not allowed to. Yeah, they're not allowed to drive. They're not allowed to own anything. They are not
Yep.
allowed to educate themselves. Like it is. You turn of a certain age, which is a lot younger than what American people agree with. Okay, you turn a certain age, you get married to a decent man, right?
Hopefully.
That is going to, well, decent in the sense that they bring something of value to the family, right?
And
Because
isn't
you're
it
not
something
marrying
that
him.
your father chooses as well, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, like a lot of their
Yes.
marriages are arranged. They
yeah.
don't get a choice.
They don't get a choice. No.
And so if that person does not bring any type of value to the family, like money or trades or a business, like, or a bond between two families
Yep.
that now
Yeah.
can have a bigger,
Status.
a greater status, then they don't marry you to them. Like, it's almost like going back to like medieval times when you had to pay, what is it? You had to, um, women had,
Is it a dowry?
yeah, dowry. Yeah. In order to be wed, right? Like they were always trying to marry up in status,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like that over there. Like,
Yeah.
so
And
I'm all about like women wanting to be able to do more and everything, but like supporting those countries in that sense, like no. Like
Yeah,
no,
it's like
you're going so farther back than we ever were.
Yeah.
Like this is going
Yeah.
this is going so far in reverse that it doesn't make any sense to me. But
and they do not care about our values or culture. They do not care about us.
and what's
They-
crazy about it too is like so in America, right? Like we have the death penalty, okay, that hardly fucking ever gets used. Like there's people sitting on death row that have been on death row like 20 40
years,
fucking
yeah.
years, okay? Over there, like if you do an act that is punishable by death, you're going to get killed because they
Yeah.
don't have the same judicial system and processes like we do. Like if somebody in that system says you are guilty of this crime, whether fucking people can prove it or not, but everybody's like, yeah, they're guilty of this crime, like, and they punish you to death, like, bro, you're fucking dying. Like somebody's gonna come up there, somebody's gonna whack your fucking head off with a machete, and it's game over. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can
Like,
stone
they
you
do
in
not
public
have-
square, like
Well,
Yeah,
just
like it's
just Hannah. I mean, I hear this all the time. What is it? The gays from Muslim and the Middle East.
oh my god.
I never understood how the gays got aligned with Muslims. Just so you know, you guys wouldn't make it a week.
yeah, it's super illegal.
You'd be thrown off. And for the people that say, well, they don't actually throw you off buildings. Yes, they do.
You might
I don't
wanna
think
rethink
you guys
that.
think. Yeah, what?
Like even in Turkey, okay, like yes,
Right,
if you go to
and you lived
if
in
you
Turkey. She
if
lived
you
in Turkey.
go to Istanbul, it's a little bit more westernized, okay? Like they've taken on like there are not women running around in fucking
Hijabs.
gowns and the fucking face coverings and all this shit. I can't think of the words right now. They're like,
Hijabs.
yeah, those, yeah. Okay. Like, sorry, I was really sick this morning, like passed out on the floor sick. So I'm like,
She's pushing through. She's
but like so in Istanbul they're not so much that way. Like I've seen women walk around with like shorts and tank tops, you know, or even more modest styled stuff, okay? And then there's men that wear suits and fucking basketball shorts, whatever, right? So you have a good mix of it. So it's a little bit more westernized. So you might be accepted there, but that's not to say that everybody there is going to accept you because you still have elders that live there that are very hard set in the traditions. Right. And if the law is the law, it could take one of those elders that says that's a crime punishable by death. And all it takes is that one elder to set fire.
Yep.
Because
And
they
elders
also
are a big deal in other cultures. Elders are
and
like
they also
the law.
elders collectively come together. So if one elder is like, this is a crime, it's punishable by death, it is a true um, demonic or whatever phrase it is that they want to use, like this should not be allowed in our country. All those other elders are going to power around that elder, and they're going to make it so
Yeah.
because you're tarnishing their way of life.
So I don't mind you immigrating to my country. I really don't. But learn my language. These people that are running around that have been here for 15 years that don't know how to speak English, you guys are the first to go. Sorry. And for anybody that calls me a hypocrite, when I went to Korea, I learned Korean. I learned their language because I'm not going to be a hypocrite and go to another country and then look at them and go, well, now you have to speak English because I'm here. No, I learned Korean. I can speak it. 안녕하세요, ajima, 감사합니다. I can talk the whole 9 yards. So when I went to your country, I learned it. That's why when I say when you come to my country, you should be able to speak, read the language. These people that are coming here that have been here for 15 years that don't know the language, sorry, bye. You need to be the first to go. Go back to your country. I don't want you here. I don't need you here.
So I can also respect somebody, though, that you can tell is actively trying to learn or actively like, okay, I'll go back to the Spanish-speaking drivers, right? So they would ask me something in Spanish, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I completely missed that. And they would be like, word for, and they would try to either sound it out or show me or whatever, right? They're trying. There's obviously like they're in that moment, and maybe it's just in that moment, I don't know. But I like to see the best in people, so I like to think that at the end of the day, they're genuinely trying. And I understand that going from other languages to English is actually very difficult. That was one of the biggest things that I heard, is that for us to go to other languages, not necessarily as difficult, but for other speaking languages, coming to English or going to English is actually probably one of the harder languages.
I go by the military on this one, and
Whenever our language is fucked up.
Whenever I see anybody and they're trying, I used to tell my airmen this all the time. If I see you even if you fail, if I see you honestly busting your ass to try, you know what? I'm going to give you a pass. You're trying. So when I see a foreigner and they're making an honest effort, but some of the words are escaping them, I can understand chopped English. I'm actually pretty good at it because I spent so much time overseas. So, and everybody would want to try to speak English, and I'm sitting there trying to speak their language. So both of us are really chopped. And I get that. If you're chopped English and you're trying, I'm all for it. And I'll ask you how to speak a few. But if you pull up to me in a truck, hand me a piece of paper and don't even try, you know what? I want to look at you and go, I'll be right back. Go call ICE and have them come and get you and take you back. We'll get another driver and then they can speak English.
So here's something really funny. Apparently, I look like I speak Spanish because I would walk up to these truck drivers and they immediately would speak Spanish and like assume that I speak Spanish, like ask me about my day, everything. And they would go on for like a good, like long while and then like look at me and be like, I'm like, yeah, hi, how are you? Like, good morning. And they're like, habla español? And I'm like, no.
I had the opposite when I was in Korea because I'm the white dude, and I look American. I am the pale white dude, and so none of the Koreans would even suspect me knowing how to speak their language. Wouldn't have a clue.
But you gain a lot of brownie points knowing their language, correct?
Well, I did get a lot of brownie points, and I got to do a lot of things that most people didn't get to do. But I also got to sit in restaurants, and when the waitress would come up and I'd order, I'd be like, bulgogi or whatever I was ordering. They'd turn around and talk to another fellow waitress and they would start insulting me. And I would sit there and let them go on for like 20 minutes. And then when they brought me the check, that's when I would whip out Hangul. And you've never seen an Asian get more embarrassed than when they find out you understood every single word they just said. I've had waitresses.
Yes, because it's
run away.
It's disrespectful of their culture. They're not supposed to be doing that, right?
Well,
like they're not supposed to be disrespectful in that manner. But everybody, it's human nature, right? We all fucking do it. We are not supposed to judge others, like, but we all do it. We all talk shit about other
Yeah.
people, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
So,
I
but they're
mean,
not supposed to do it, and they know that. It's like deep into their traditions to be very polite, be very respectful, even to those who are not of you, right? It's their culture. So then when they get caught in it, it's like Mulan, you know, bring dishonor to your family, bring
yeah.
dishonor to your cow. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of dishonor.
It's a lot of dishonor. You got a dragon that dances around. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Speaking of culture, did you guys read anything about the letters of marque?
I did.
Oh my
Nope.
God. If for anybody, okay, that's fine. For anybody that doesn't know, this tickled my,
Pirates. That's all I know.
this
Thanks,
tickled my,
pirates.
this
Pirates of the
tickled my-
Caribbean.
yep. This tickled my fucking soul. Like I'm all for this. I'm ready to go get a boat. I'm serious. I'm so ready to go get a boat.
No,
So
but okay.
somebody's pushing a bill so the president can sign letters of marque. If anybody doesn't know what a letter of marque is, it is a permission from the government to be a fucking pirate.
It's more of a pirateer.
Yes, it's more of a pirateer, but you get to go out
For
and
those of us that don't know the
capture-
difference, explain that. Oh, you're about to do that. My bad.
So a pirate is what you think of, right? It's Pirates of the Caribbean, right? They have their own code, right? But they are not subservient to any state or nation or military or law, right?
Okay.
They do not serve any state or organization. Whereas like a privateer would be the
everything a
the
pirate
other
is,
side
but
that-
you're governed.
Yeah, so the other side of that would be like how the Brits had, you know, in Pirates of the Caribbean, you had, you know, the admirals and all that shit that were trying to capture and kill all the pirates. That would be
Yeah.
privateers. They
Gotcha.
are subservient to a government, a law, or some type of state.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that means, do you know how many retired military people are going to go buy a boat? Because you get to keep whatever you capture. Just so everybody knows, a tanker is worth $110 million. My ass would sit off the coast of Venezuela and wait for one of those fucking tankers to come by. $110 million, even if you got to keep half of it.
Yeah, but who do you sell that crap to?
The government buys whatever you get.
Yeah, so like the tankers that they suspect are going from Venezuela to another foreign nation to take oil, which is against the treaty. You could go and capture one of those and the government will literally buy it from you.
And then buy it
Gotcha.
from you. All you
Yeah.
need is
But
one.
so this bill has come. This is not the first time this bill has come across. Okay, so I did a little bit of digging on it, and a representative of Colorado of all states, brought it up in February of 24, but he called it cartel of marque because it was specifically aimed towards cartel that are coming from, you know, Venezuela, Mexico, and all
Yeah.
that shit, and bringing shit across. So the intent was to make it to where they would help with our homeland defense, right? They could get the letter of marque, and it would basically be aimed towards any citizens that are defending the country against anybody who is cartel related. So if you are in business with the cartel, you are a target. If you are actually a cartel member, you're a target. If you are any way, shape, or form linked to the cartel, you could be a target. And it was to be made in the waters and in land.
I just don't. I mean, this will never get signed. It's just one of those really neat things that I really wish would, because all I can picture is hundreds of ex-Army Rangers, Navy SEAL, pararescue, lacing up boots and fucking
going and buying like a fucking 50-foot yacht and destroying shit. Yeah.
just going absolutely off.
Have you watched Lioness on Paramount?
No.
Nope.
Oh my God. Okay. So you guys need to watch it. But there's an episode where they get like a nice deep water, essentially a yacht, right? But it's more of like a leisure yacht. So it's aimed towards like, you know, deep water fishing and stuff like that. But it's extremely fast, right? It's really big, whatever. And
Yeah.
they use it when they're doing missions out in the ocean off of islands and stuff. But that's what I picture, is that these guys are going to get these, like, 50-foot yachts that are aimed towards leisure, and they're going to like barricade it up and swing the fucking American flag with some shit on it, like their letter of marque, and just go out there. And anytime some fucking what looks like a drug boat is just off the coast of Florida, they're just going to fucking light it up.
All they need is one tanker. One tanker. And they're set for life. They're done. They only need to get one. $110 million? They're fucking retired. I'm telling you, baby, I would drop. You would not see me on the podcast one week.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you that you would be doing it alone, because I'm not going to go out there and be sick the whole time.
I don't want you to go. You guys can say.
Hey, you got to come to my side of the country in order to get those tankers, so just pick me up on the way.
You could
Bro,
just
I
see
would sell
me.
everything. I would sell everything. I'd sell my computer. I'd sell my car. I'd sell everything.
I don't think other countries realize what would happen if they gave us a reason to let us off the leash. To not have us bound and say, all you ex-military people, go take care of this. Make this problem go away.
So Amber and I were talking about this the other day, and we were talking about how would this look, right? Because I see it being aimed more towards like cartel and all the drugs and everything that's coming from, through the Gulf and up through, through Florida and stuff, that's all coming down from Latin America, right?
Yeah.
And I see it being aimed towards that more so, okay? Which is great and all. But how would it work? Because you're a part of the government, but you're not a part of the government, right? Because the government can't sanction that, like, you just happened upon this boat and you went in and fucking killed everybody, because that breaks every ROE, the Geneva Convention, all of that, right? Like, that breaks every single rule that we have ever been taught if you're ex-military.
Yes.
So how can they sanction it? And I was like, well, it'd be pretty easy, because you're not technically a part of the government. Like, each state, essentially, because you could be given a letter of marque that's signed by the government that is appropriate to your state, right? So like the state of Texas, we have the Gulf, okay? Perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be given a letter of marque from your state to where, yes, you're subservient to that state, and that's who you are embedded with, right? As far as your employer, but you're not actually a member of any type of government or state affiliate. Right, because that's how it would have to be written. So it would be like Blackwater all over again, right? Like, you would essentially be a contractor that does not fall under any state or government law or rule.
But here's the other thing. Okay, so isn't it like 50 miles off the coast or whatever? Immediately you're in international water. So how do they get around that?
So I think that's, if somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive the letter marque only applies in your country's borders, because I think it's like, 10, 20 miles off the coast is still America. And then you're in international waters. You have to wait for that tanker to get out of Venezuelan or wherever you're trying to get it from. You have to wait for it to leave theirs and either come into yours or international.
Neutral. Yeah.
One of the two. You can't, the minute you go to their country, now you're invading their country. So you have to wait.
No. So it depends though, right? Because like contractors, like we're talking like deep, legit, embedded contractors, right? They would go to those foreign countries. There's a lot of off the books stuff that has happened using those contractors.
What happens if they get caught?
You're on your own.
We disavow.
You're on your own. Yeah, yep. You're on your own. That's how it would be. So I think that's the route they would go, is like, you're essentially a contractor, right? But you're not under the same rules as far as what our military are, or what our state representative, or not state representatives, but state affiliated members are, right? So, but just know, like, if you go to Venezuelan waters and you get captured, like, we're out.
But it's going to look really bad when they get on national television. Hold up your letter of marque signed by Donald J. Trump.
So I just, it says, while some use international waters loosely for anything beyond 12 miles, the formal definition for the high seas start at the edge of the EEZ, 200 nautical miles out.
And I don't even think, now the oil tankers go that far, but these little drug boats that everybody here is saying are fishing boats, I don't know if you heard that one too. All the left are claiming that all the boats were blowing up. They were fishing boats at 2 a.m. in the middle of the dark with 600 horsepower motors on the back of them. The fishing
Devil's
boats.
advocate for like 0.5 seconds because I know that that's not what was happening, but the nightlife in the ocean is completely different. So you get different varieties of fish and
Well, yes, we all
squid.
know that, right? Because like that's
I'm
why
just saying.
crabbers they
But the boats
primarily fish at
stop.
night.
The boats stop.
Yes.
These boats are doing 80 miles an hour over the open
I
ocean.
said 0.5 seconds because we know that's not what's happening, but don't come at me.
But
Don't tell me I'm
they're saying
Look,
they're.
I have
stupid.
dark views. Like I say blow it all up. Like
Oh, I do too.
either
Fucking-
allowed to be boarded or we blow you up. But
Yeah.
those are your options. You let us board, you let us search,
and
or we blow
don't
you up.
don't think you're going to be faster than a surface to air missile, and don't think we can't
Mhm.
see you. We've
Yeah.
all seen the videos of our night vision, and just so you guys know,
Also, we've all seen the movie Captain Phillips.
Oh.
Just saying. Great movie.
Look, we've all seen a war movie that uses night vision, okay? And the movies don't
Yeah.
make it. The movies make it look way better than it actually is, but it's still pretty good.
you got to learn depth perception.
Ugh.
That's the hardest part. That's a pain in the dick.
Ugh. And then when you have fucked up depth perception already,
Yeah.
oh,
Damien,
Yeah.
how does that work for you? You're legally blind.
So you practice. You have like a little foam ball, and you have two people. You know, we get us all together. We all put our night vision on. They cut the lights. So we take a foam ball and we pass the foam ball back and forth to each other, and we learn.
Okay, but that doesn't
New-
answer my question. You are
Hold on.
legally blind.
We learn
He is
new
now.
depth perception. No, I was legally
Yeah.
blind. I've been legally blind since I was 20.
Right, but if you
Jesus.
can't see if there's me and another brunette with the same body build standing 3 feet in front of you, how do you...
They have focus and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's like
Oh, okay.
it's almost like glasses. Like they can focus in and out, and you can change the hue. Right. I
Yeah.
think that's the right term. You can change the hue. So like the front of it is a lens that you can actually focus in and out, so that because everybody's eye vision is different, right?
Like full out
So it'll-
binoculars.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it'll
Got
so
it.
it's like binoculars. Yeah, so it'll filter
Okay.
out and help you and change the vision quality of
Okay.
how deep it needs to actually focus for you or how close. So it'll change the actual filtering of
And
it
to-
so that you can see.
That's what
Okay.
I was curious about.
But then it also like there's a knob towards the front side of it that's up against your face where you can change also like the hue of stuff. So is it like really, really bright? Is it really, really dark?
Yeah.
And that will also affect your depth perception through
Yeah.
it. But not only that, like we have our own natural night vision, right?
Right.
So whenever we did NVG training, right, like our instructors would get all our stuff set up right, we'd be set, and they would cut the lights off and we would sit in the dark with our eyes open for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because you have a natural night
Right.
vision that will
Yeah.
kick in. And then we would do certain run-throughs of stuff using our natural, and then you would don your NVGs that would later just enhance it. So your depth perception issue wasn't as bad.
Gotcha.
And you also have different night vision goggles. So you have the single, you have the doubles,
And then you have the quads.
and those ones are like for special forces guys. We never got the quads, but like the singles are like the old fashioned. They
TVS
work.
14s.
Yeah, they work, but they're a lot harder because you're literally going from 2 eyes down to a cyclops. But the
Mhm.
double ones, you can adjust so much crap on those.
Mhm.
We had to do Humvee training. You got to do shooting with them. And if
Like
you really,
driving?
yeah, you drive with them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Which
so
is really fun in a fucking Humvee because Humvees are shit to drive out of, even in perfect fucking daylight.
Yeah. so they have on the switch on the left side. There's a thing that says BO, and it's for blackout. And you turn your blackouts on, and if you don't have night vision goggles on, it looks like the vehicle has no lights.
Cool.
So, and when you don it, then you can see the lights and all the markers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can when the thing they get wrong on most military movies is when you got your M4 and you have the laser on it and you got night vision on, you're the only one that can see that laser. That laser is not visible to anybody else.
Well,
the ones we had, they weren't visible to anybody else.
No. So there's two, right? There's multiple generations of PECs out there, right? So like the PEC 2, you could not, or the PEC 2 or the PEC 4, I think it's both of them. They're the big black box. Those only have infrared, so you cannot see it without night vision dawn.
We had the black box on the side of the M4s.
So they upgraded those, right? So being in my career field, we had PEC 15s, the tan smaller box. You have a infrared and you have a visible laser. And then you can also adjust the brightness of it. So like it's got a filter that you can swipe onto it, right? That's attached to it. So you can swipe it on and off, and that will make like your laser, when it actually hits something, it can, like, you can get it to where you have like different shapes that it will display, right? And everybody can have a different shape or whatever. But it'll actually like brighten or decrease how bright that laser illuminates when you put it on a target.
Yeah, we didn't
They're
have
very
the fancy.
advanced.
Yeah, we didn't have the fancy one you could switch. The one we used, you only saw with night vision goggles.
Yeah.
And we'd go out shooting with those. So, yeah, there's a ton of things. And this is all available to the civilian market. So, for the people that say, well, the cartel and the drug boats, they all have an army too. Trust me.
Oh, the other thing too about
scary.
that is my favorite thing is military grade. When they say something's military grade, guys, that doesn't mean it's indestructible. Just saying, just throwing that shit out there.
We'll go off for another hour on military grade.
Like, I'm just gonna say, don't buy it. Don't buy it. If it says military grade, just don't buy it.
You don't buy it. The Ford commercials that say their bed of their truck is military grade steel. That you're not getting an actual M1 Abrams tank armor. That's not what you're getting. Like, I don't even know what's on that M1 Abrams tank. That's still classified, just so everybody knows. So fucking Ford isn't getting
Didn't they just unclassify that just recently?
No.
There was something that they did though, right?
They unclassify something all the time.
It might have been a plane that they.
Well, they just came out with the 6th generation fighter. That was I mean, the specs and stuff are so highly classified, but Trump announced that a little bit ago that the 6th generation fighter is out.
Yeah, it's still classified how high up into the atmosphere the U-2 flies.
Yeah, and that came out.
That's still classified.
When did the U-2? 1972.
The undisclosed or the unclassified version, I think, is like 60,000 feet. And
Wow.
that's the unclassified. Okay, so if the unclassified is 60,000, we can only imagine how high the actual classified is, because this plane was specifically designed so that if a nuclear attack ever happens, that pilot in that plane is high enough in the atmosphere that they will not be affected. Okay, these dudes wear actual space suits when they fly in this fucking plane. Like, that's how high up it goes.
I was way off. Way off. So the U-2 spy plane, take a guess. I said 72.
Way off at 72. So I'm going
to say in the 40s.
I'm gonna say 50s.
1956.
Heyo.
And just so, we invented that plane in 1956, and shit on it is still classified. So what do you think we have now?
That's the one that you can't touch with your fingers, right? Because it's the
that's
metals.
the SR-71.
Oh,
that's the SR-71.
My bad.
And there's the SR-71 speed. Just so everybody knows, that's still classified. They say it's Mach 3 plus.
Hannah, the look of confusion on your face, is that because you didn't understand what I was saying?
Well, I worked at a base that had U-2s, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. What one was that? Because we had them in Korea. Okay, we had
Beale
them
and
in
Korea, I think, are the only two bases. Because we would do trainings where they would actually fly and deploy or TDY people to Korea.
I got
but
to go
U-2s are crazy. Like, did you guys know? I don't know if this is classified or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. Did you guys know they actually hold a mile-long sheet of film? It's a mile long.
That makes sense.
And they record on actual film. Okay. Like, this is how out of date they are. Okay. But I get why they're like that. Okay. So they record on actual film. So, like, we used to do these exercises every year of like a nuclear attack where we would have to deploy U2s. Okay. And did you guys know U2s actually don't have to have a full blown runway? U2s can actually pull out of the hangar and fucking take off.
That doesn't
I've seen it.
surprise me.
I've seen it done once, and it is amazing.
Yeah,
I was
Okay,
gonna
anyway.
say that, but that's so cool.
Their wingspan is weirdly long. Like if you see one in person, they don't look
Yeah.
They
So yeah,
look weird.
they're
Oh,
like their
we woke
body
Hannah
is
up.
super. If their body is like, we'll say 6 inches. Okay, I actually have a ruler over here. Okay, so if their body is this long for 6 inches, okay, their wingspan is like triple that. Okay. Or even quadruple that. So
There you go,
their
Hannah.
wingspan, yeah. Okay. So their wingspan is so long that actually when they take off, they have these detachable sticks with wheels on them that hold the wings up until they can hit a certain miles per hour or knots or whatever the fuck it is, so that their wings will actually get lift. And as soon as they start to get lift, those sticks pop down. Okay. And then on the edge of their wings, they have this thick layer of padded steel, like a bumper, essentially, because when they do land, and they're actually the only aircraft, I do believe, that still has to have a chase car. Okay. So, um, when they land, the chase car follows them and is basically guiding the pilot to land the aircraft. This is why the Mythbusters had that thing and actually visited Beale.
The chase
And
car
they-
has to be a U2 pilot himself.
Yeah. And that's why they did that. Is the U2 the hardest plane to land? Okay. So the chase pilot in the car guides the pilot down, and when it lands and it literally, those thick bumpers on the edge of the wing are so that when it lands it can fucking hit to one side and skid. Yeah,
I'll
that
be
big
honest, it
thick
looks like
piece
a
in that
paper
picture.
plane.
Yeah.
It does. It looks like a glider. It is the
Yeah.
weirdest plane in the world. Oh, there you go. There's a better picture of it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, that right there. So that is so that it can land on the wing and literally come to a stop.
Damn, that thing is like gajillion miles long.
It is
It's huge.
weird looking
Fucking
to see.
huge.
Yep. What
And then you can tell a real U2 from a trainer U2 if a real U2 has one cockpit. So there's only one pilot, and a trainer has 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to hate the U2 when I worked at Beale until I started
here's
getting
the chase car.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I used to hate the U2 when I first started working at Beale because oh my God, all of our exercises like revolved around them, and it was so fucking boring, and it was stupid, and it was just the dumbest shit ever.
Okay.
But then the more I started learning about the U2 when I went to ALS, is it ALS? ASL?
ASL is
ALS.
American Sign Language.
ALS.
ALS,
So it's
yeah.
ALS.
Okay. So when I went to that and I started talking to mechanics who actually work on the aircraft, and I learned so much like information that I wouldn't have normally known, I found them fucking fascinating. It is the most fascinating plane, in my fucking opinion. Like the fact that our pilots have to wear space suits when they fly them.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, actually.
It's crazy. Okay. And then the fact that it uses real
Damien,
fucking film.
I love you, but you just changed it, and now my brain doesn't care about anything that you have to say. I'm just watching your little door.
All right.
So,
but yeah, so it's crazy. But yeah, so like in the exercises that we would do, right, like was in case of a nuclear war ever broke out, okay, and they would fly up in the atmosphere and record film and then report back on the status of the United States. Okay, so that film, you actually have to land that plane and then recover that film and then go through it. Like a person has to actually sit and fucking go through film.
that sounds
Like
exhausting.
you can't upload it to anything, you can't download it to anything because it's actual legit fucking film. So like that's why it hasn't ever had crazy modifications done to it, because if there ever was a nuclear war to break out, right, and they were to record stuff, like we're not going to have any of that technology at the
Right.
tips of our fingers, right? So you cannot get the information that pilot has on that film until they fucking land. There's nothing. There's no way to know what they recorded, what they saw, none of it.
Cool.
It's wild.
Okay, it's done blinking.
Thank you.
Yeah, the U2's
Okay,
cool.
we could sit here. Yeah, I love the U2. I like the SO-71. So the next one is
We could talk about a plane that we all both probably loathe and hate. The B-52.
no, the big fat fucker.
Yeah, the Stratoforce. The Stratoforce?
I
think that's what it's
love
called?
the
Stratoforce?
B-52. Yep, I love the B-52.
Go work at Minot for like a year and you'll fucking hate that bitch.
I'm glad you do. I love the B-52.
I will say it was pretty cool though to see, like, after one of the first generations I worked, when we had like 20 fucking planes parked in a parking area for the aircraft, and they're all fucking loaded with nukes. That's pretty intense.
I was at Minot when they had the nuclear incident.
Oh
When the-
yeah, the
when the-
07 one?
Yeah,
Oh,
when
sorry.
the kid,
That happened in 06 but was reported in 07?
yeah, when the kid walked up and said, "That's a nuke on that plane," and everybody was like, "No, that's a training nuke." And he was just an A1C or an airman, and he was like, "No, I just got out of school." Apparently, the tips mean something.
Mhm.
The tips on the tips are
color
different
coordinated.
colors. You have a trainer, you have a nuke, you have a dud, all kinds of stuff. And the color that was on there was a live, ready to go nuke. And he was like, "No, seriously, that's a ready to go nuke," and nobody believed him.
Did you know that airman that's at fault for that happening was also like a brand new young airman? I had a buddy who actually met him.
Why are we putting 18, 19-year-olds in charge of this shit?
I was
I
in
feel like-
charge. I was in charge of
Yeah, I was in
millions of
charge.
dollars. Yeah.
Okay, but like nukes?
I've worked at multiple nuke bases, and like I'm telling you, like we might fuck up and everything, but like there's nobody more gung ho to protect your nukes. I'm telling you right now. I'm just saying.
So I'm trying to find the article right now to kind of switch gears about this that they're trying to pass a transgender law so that if a doctor performs a gender affirming surgery, gender affirming care on a child, the doctor will be arrested.
Should we think the parent should be arrested too?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
So, because this all goes about your whole children do not have bodily autonomy.
Do not.
So, if that means two adults have failed this child, the parents and the doctor saying yes.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate for like 0.5 seconds. And
Why do
just
you always have
because-
to play devil advocate? Like, why can't you just leave it be?
because that's how good conversations happen, Hannah. So I think that if you're, and maybe it's because I'm a woman and our healthcare system sucks so bad when it comes to women's healthcare, but I think that we've gone so far to kind of, I don't want to say push our kids to be transgender, but push our kids to be transgender. Maybe it's not devil's advocate. We've gone too far. We've gone entirely too far. Like, my niece, like, she likes wearing dresses, right? But she's a tomboy to a point.
Yeah.
She likes wearing jeans. She likes going outside, playing with the boys, getting on bikes, climbing trees. Like, she's not a boy. So is it genuinely the fact that these parents are pushing their kids? Or is it just the fact that these are little girls that they're going through their tomboy phase? Like, my sister, nothing. She wanted nothing to do with dresses, skirts, any of it.
I think it also depends on how you get raised, though, too, right? So, like, I had a brother, okay, and him and I were the only two siblings. So, like, everything he was doing, I also wanted to do. I rode dirt bikes. I played in the mud. I built the fucking dirt tracks that we used to make in our backyard and ride our bikes through, okay? I did all of that stuff, and I loved it. But it's because I wanted to hang out with my brother. So, like, if I had had a sister and she was into all the girly stuff, and I wanted to spend time with her, then I'd probably do all the girly stuff, right? Like,
See, but I had two older brothers and I was still the little princess. Like, I still wore dresses. I watched my mom put on her makeup. Dresses, skirts. I looked forward to church on Sundays just so that I could wear one of my nice
Right, but you
dresses.
had a mother that was into that, right? Okay. Not saying that my mother was not, right? But my mother, like, the only time I saw my mom get, like, in a dress was when we went to church.
Right.
Okay. And my mom went through a little phase for a while where she would sell jewelry and stuff, you know? So, and she would dress really nice, but she wasn't in a dress. Like, she
Right.
was in, like, a women's business suit with, like, the
Right.
jacket and the nice shirt and the
The pantsuit.
jewelry and the slacks. Yeah, the pantsuit. Okay, so, like, and don't get me wrong, I mean, she did her makeup and she did her hair, you know, she's rocking those big ass fucking bangs, 'kay, did her hair, the whole 9 yards, whatever, beautiful, 'kay? But I never was like, "I wanna do that." Like,
Okay,
mm-mm.
so I did find it. In December 2025, the U.S. House of Representatives passed 2 bills that would criminalize providing gender affirming care to minors and ban federal funds from covering such care. However, these bills are not yet law and must also pass the Senate to be enacted. Concurrently, the Trump administration, Department of Health and Human Services has issued proposed rules to restrict this care through regulatory changes, which are currently in public comment period and face legal challenges.
I don't
Uh,
agree. I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Okay, so where it says, the legislative actions as far as how much time they'll spend in prison or whatever, bro,
Down
up
here.
to 10 years? Yeah, up to 10 years? I definitely don't agree with that. I think the minimum should be 10 years.
Oh, so
I
you
think you
think it's not
I
as
think
hard? You don't think it's
yeah,
harsh enough?
I think you should fry. I think you should
Okay.
fry. Like,
I,
if you
I,
know it's
mm,
illegal and you're still doing it, like, bro, you're actually be in prison forever, the rest of your life. You are a
okay.
doctor who is literally taken an oath to care
Do
for
no
people.
harm, first of all.
You are the doctor who is supposed to be charged with not harming your patients, right? Like, that's why they're supposed, and don't get me wrong, I think our country has gotten so fucking far away from this that, like,
Yeah.
it does not really fucking
Well,
matter or
first
whatever,
of
right?
all,
But they start. But my point is, right? They take this oath that they are supposed to provide care for this patient, right, and do no harm. Like, they're not supposed to accidentally kill them, okay, type stuff. So they're supposed to have their best interests at heart of what is going to be beneficial for them in the long run. So if you know that, the one, this is a federal crime, that you should not be doing this, because as time has come to show, it does more harm than it does good, to the point of now that it's an illegal act. Why would you
So
even attempt?
so do you think that the doctors that have done the gender reassignment for underage kids should
oh,
be in trouble even after this?
They should all
They
fry. I think
it
they
no,
should all
was
fry.
it
I
was
don't
legal.
hold
It was
on.
legal before.
No, I don't think. No,
No,
it should
I
be
think they
grandfathered. I don't like it,
no.
and I think there should be something wrong. That's something wrong. But you cannot go to jail for something that was legal last week. That's not right.
So do you think that there should be some sort of like maybe a mark in their
No,
file or something?
what they did was legal. You may not agree with it, but
I so
this is
no,
why we have the House and Senate and bills to
I don't
if you
agree with
don't agree with
nothing being
something.
done. I don't agree with nothing being done. I think that they should be investigated, right, to ensure that it was 100% not coerced or forced or any type of, like, the all the Chloe Cole, right, the one who's big behind this bill, like, she is the face of this bill, okay? She goes to explain that her doctor explained to her parents that you could either have a son who's alive or a daughter that's dead if you don't do this.
Okay.
Those are your
The,
two options. That, to me, that's forceful, that's coercion, because there's not a 100% chance that that child will die if they don't transition.
Okay, the problem,
right? So I think it should be investigated to make sure that it wasn't coerced or forced or manipulative. And if it comes unscathed that the parents and the child were like, we want this, we need this, regardless of you not wanting to do it, right? If the doctor is 100% not at fault, cool, I'm okay with it. But if there is even an inkling that a jury of their peers would say that you were at fault, you shouldn't have done this, you forced it, you coerced it, I think there should be something.
What do you mean forced or coerced it? I thought kids didn't have bodily autonomy. So if the parents said, we're going to do this.
If the doctor looks at the parents and says you're either going to have a dead son or an alive daughter,
I get that.
coercion.
But the problem that I have with going back in time and prosecuting people that
I'm
did
not saying
something
send
that
them to
was,
jail or prosecute
it doesn't matter,
them,
any
right? But, like,
amount of punishment, any amount of punishment. So because then you're on a slope that's so slippery, it's not even funny. What if one of your ancestors were a slave owner and that was completely legal back then in the 1800s? That was completely legal, and now it's illegal. Do you want them to go back and prosecute them if they were coerced? Like, it doesn't, not even prosecute them. You have to pay reparations. My whole argument for reparations is what happened in the past, and it was legal and it was done. Sorry, it sucked. It was a bad mark on our history, but it's done. We grew from that. We learned. For this, we grew from this. We learned. For 4 years during the Biden administration, they let every Tom, Dick, and Harry chop off their dick or their boobs or whatever and take hormones and the whole 9 yards. There's studies now coming out saying this is bad. We've learned. It was, so no, I don't think anybody before, if this bill passes, I don't think anybody before this bill should be prosecuted at all, because what they were doing when they did it was legal. And to prosecute them now, that means you can go back with all kinds of laws that are new and prosecute people that did it when it was legal.
You're so dumb. I disagree. I agree with Hannah. I think that and maybe not necessarily an investigation, but like a little bit of an investigation. Like, go back, talk to the parents and be like, hey, how was this handled? Because there's a point to where, I'm sorry, but if a doctor looks at me and said you're going to have a dead son or an alive daughter, that's straight going towards the parents' fear. That is, okay, shit, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose my kid.
So the reason I say that it should be investigated, okay, I'm not saying that person should have to stand trial or any of that, okay? My deep down in my core, I say fry them, okay? But I think that's because it's kids.
Yeah.
Amber and I actually had a very intense conversation about this yesterday because of the book we've been reading that I finished, and she's likely to finish today.
Well, give a shout out to the book.
Baby, what's that book called? Breaking Point. Oh, she just finished it. It's about Andre Yates back in 2001 who killed 5 children. Her 5 children. She drowned them.
Okay, I remember that.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, there's actually a documentary coming out this month, actually. Okay. So anyway, so we both have read the book now. And so we had a very deep, intense conversation about people who kill children, okay, or do harm to children. And because I believe that children have no bodily autonomy and that it is parents and adults' sole purpose to protect them, right? If you were a doctor who has taken this oath of care, upholding care, that's where it digs to me the most, that you have literally taken an oath as a doctor that you are to provide the best, most upholding, beneficial care for your patients. And there's little to zero research to say that this is great, this is phenomenal, or this is bad. How can you justify making a decision and then throw those accusations of you can either have an alive son or a dead daughter? Those are your options. That's what we're looking at with zero backing, zero of your own research, zero of the own proof.
No,
I have a problem with that.
I have a problem with it too. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I think it's
I think
right.
they shouldn't be a doctor. At minimum, they shouldn't be a doctor anymore.
See, I disagree with that. But I think there should definitely be like a suspension. Like, they should have to go through like some sort of class or something of like, hey, this is why you don't talk like that. This is why.
You
But
mean
because it's children,
re-education school?
yeah, some kind of continuation training to better themselves. Who knows?
There was
But
a country one time back in the 30s and 40s that had re-education camps. I don't agree
we're
with
not
those.
we're not like that. Okay, not a
We
camp, okay, but just some training. You know what I mean? Like more education. Okay, it's like when all this DEI bullshit come out. How much fucking training? You probably weren't in the military still,
no, thank God.
but I can remember all the fucking training about DEI that came out because it was something new and we all had to do it annually and they just kept pumping it down our throats. Like you would do your CBTs, you'd go to an in-person class about DEI and how to be friendly and everybody's important and blah, 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 whatever. And then like 6 months later, you had to do it again and again. Like,
Not
so
everybody.
if everybody else does it, right? Like if we all have to do some type of retraining or new training, then yeah, you should have to go through something like, hey, this is why we don't talk to patients like this, because when you give them an example of dead daughter or an alive son, you're kind of tying their hands behind their back and you're not giving them an option.
Yeah,
So,
especially with
but
the way
because
that
it's
people think
kids,
about doctors.
yeah, but because it's kids, I have such a strong stance that like, bro, either you're not a doctor anymore or you're fucking fried
I
because it's kids.
I really see both your guys' points. I just don't think we should go back to when it was legal and punish in any way the people that were doing something that was legal. I
But it's
have a
not
problem with that.
it's not about if the doctor didn't do anything wrong, great. There's no reason for it. But like Hannah said, an alive son or a dead daughter,
I disagree with that
that's
statement. Yes, but
wild.
that might be one case out of all of them.
Okay, and
I
that's
don't care if
great.
it's that one case.
If it's the one case, that's great. Make that one doctor go,
An
I don't
example.
know. Yeah,
An
make that,
example for what's
yeah.
coming, that now that this is a federal law, and if you break it, this is the consequences.
Okay,
Sometimes you've got to make an example.
I have a problem with examples. I have a problem with going back. I don't think we should go back in time to when something was legal and punish the people that did something that
Okay,
they
Why
thought they
not?
would.
Why not? Why not? Because look at okay, so pot, for example. Pot, this is a perfect example. So how is it okay that in certain states, right, pot has been recreationally legalized? And they have gone back and taken people that were convicted of criminal charges back when pot was illegal, and they've gotten rid of it. They can fight and get rid of those charges. So if we're doing it for pot, why can't we do it for doctors?
So you're making a straw man argument because I don't agree with that either. I think they should serve their time. They did something illegal when it was illegal. Sorry, sucks to be you. If you wanted it legal, you should have fought legally to change the laws, to change the regulation, not just go ahead and do it. You did something illegal. You should serve your time. I don't care if it's pot and pot's legal now. That doesn't matter. You did it when it was illegal. So
that's my thing though. So like, you disagree with it with doctors, right? And you agree that it's not okay that they're doing it for criminals, right? For even if it is
those
just
are two
pot.
different things.
But,
I believe
but it's the same example though. It's the same example.
But you did something what was illegal when it was illegal, and you did something legal when it was legal. I'm very consistent on this. As long as you're doing it by the law, so these doctors prescribed these drugs to these children when it was legal and when all the doctors were being told this is what kids need. We screamed for 4 years saying don't do this to children, and now we voted on a president, we got the Senate, we got the House, we got the judges, we got everything. So we're changing the law because we didn't agree with it. We didn't just go out there and start beating doctors because we didn't agree with it. We changed the laws. We voted our thoughts. So back when Biden was in office, when Biden was in office, the people that wanted this, that wanted the children transitioned, they won. I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. I thought they were insane, but they won. They had the law on their side. They won. Now the law is going to be on my side, but I don't think I should go now that I won and I have the law on my side. I can't go back in time, grab all those people and say, now you're going to be punished under my new law.
Okay,
I
do
don't
you
know.
think
See,
that Chloe's
I think
doctor should
because
be
if
No,
we're
do you
doing it
think
for one, you do it for all.
do you
What
think
do
that Chloe's doctor should be prosecuted for
Yeah,
his bullshit fear?
without
wholeheartedly.
hold on. Going on what you guys said without looking at the case because I'm not familiar with the case. Going on just by what you guys said, yes, I think something should be done.
Okay.
But I'm only going on what you guys say. There's probably a slew of information that I don't know that might change my mind. So off
I
what
think if a
you guys
doctor has the
said,
nerve to say something
yes.
like that, if a doctor,
Yes.
I don't care the situation, if a doctor has the nerve to say something ridiculous like that, yes, I absolutely think he should be prosecuted.
I think
So
that if you're doing it for one crime or one law, you should do it for all of them. So if we're going to go ahead and release people from prisons and jails and drop their charges and expunge their records for pot, something as minuscule as pot, there should be no different.
I don't think that's right either. They
I'm
committed
not
a
saying that
crime when it was
it's right or
illegal.
wrong, right? But America is currently doing it for one. So if we're doing it for one, we should be doing it for all.
Right. It's the same argument that people have that believe in abortion, they're pro-choice, but if a woman gets murdered that's pregnant, they want to prosecute the person that murdered the woman for a double homicide. It, it it's it's a train of thought that isn't right. It's you
I don't
can't
agree with
tell
that.
me that a what?
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either because it's you want your cake and eat it too, basically. You're telling me that the baby inside a woman is not a baby,
But you want it to be
but
tried as one.
but Jesus, I thought I turned this off.
Clearly,
But
you
yes,
did
but
not.
you want it to be tried as one. You want it to appear in a court of law that it is a baby
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go to court and prosecute that guy for
for
a
a
double
double homicide.
murder, but you in your heart believes that that's not a human because at any point in time the woman can have it sucked out of her. It's not a living thing. So that's
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
you're a
I'd
hypocrite
say
when
no.
it comes with that. So I'm very consistent. Just whatever the law was, you go by the law. If it was illegal back then, sorry, you do your time. Sucks to be you. Should have fought it in court. Now, I don't think we should go back. Now, on your case, your special case, I would say
I'm surprised you
yes.
haven't heard anything about her case. It is all over.
It's probably
Like,
not on
she
my
is
algorithm.
big. Like,
It's probably not on my algorithm. But I don't believe. But I'm I hate the fact that any child in the world should be transitioned in any way. I'm sorry. At
Okay.
8, 9 years old, you have no idea that you're a girl or a boy or you
So
actually no.
let's dumb this down for a second, okay? Let's say that the children at, we'll say 9 and 10, okay? Do you agree with them being on medication for ADHD, ADD, ODD, which I don't necessarily believe in ODD, but
All the 4-letter acronyms?
yeah.
No, I do not. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. I know this one hits personal for you, but Hannah, but no.
what?
With the medication. I don't I think we've gotten overboard with the ADHD, the AD all the 4-letter acronyms of what's wrong with children because they don't focus in class. I am you guys can call me a boomer, you guys can call me all kinds of there needs to be something back in the day of a good old-fashioned ass whooping. Like
Mm, I disagree with that. I think it's because of our technology. I genuinely believe that kids that are raised with phones and on technology have a lower attention span because look at it. I
yes.
mean, genuinely, if you look at it, every generation seems to have a shorter and shorter attention span,
Are
right? And TikTok is a perfect example. TikTok, our reels are what, 30 seconds? And half the time we can't even stick around for that. I'm guilty as shit about it.
Yeah. So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to have to edit this again. Give me the age spread of children so we don't like get too detailed.
11, 13, 15.
Okay, I didn't want to go into that, but are all of them on social media?
No.
Is any of them on?
2.
Okay.
The youngest and the oldest.
Do you disagree with them being on social media? Like if
To an
you
extent,
could,
yeah.
if you could you be like, yeah, you don't need any social media?
Oh, yeah.
So what?
And it's not necessarily so much the social media, it's the dangers that come out of it, right? It's been proven that social media for teens lowers their confidence and increases depression. Okay, it's been proven
by a lot, not a little, by a lot.
But I also don't like it because they are still children and you're on the internet. So everybody, like, yes, you have access to so much information, right? You have access to so much, but you're also giving all of that so much access to you.
So what?
So I don't like it for that. Like we've had multiple conversations with our children about like, you do not talk to somebody on a social media platform that you do not physically know. Like if you could not physically go to school and put hands on them, you don't talk to them.
So why do you so you just said that you would just not have it if you could. Is it because school and life depends on it so much nowadays that you have to like you have to give in a little bit? You don't want to, but
I think a lot of it is like I think like so Australia got rid of it, right?
Oh,
for 16
can we all
and below.
agree we all love that law?
Yeah,
that
I agree with it. I agree with it.
Oh my God,
right?
we
I
all
agree
love that. Yep.
that 16 and under, you should not have any form of
fuck
social
you,
media.
off.
Okay. But I don't think that means that you have to get rid of the knowledge of knowing how to use it should disappear either, right? Like, I think with our 2 oldest having it, now it's teaching them how to be responsible, right? How to, like if some stranger that you look at their profile and you're like, who the fuck is this? And they're trying to message you and they're requesting to message you, like, and you don't know them, like, you don't got to open that shit. You can just delete it. Like, you don't have to respond to it.
Block it,
Like just because they message you doesn't mean you have to respond. And if it's somebody who you thought you knew, but you actually don't know and you did respond, well, guess what? Now you need to be forthcoming of it and fucking block and delete it. Get rid of it. Right? It's teaching them to be smart. Like, don't be telling people what state you live in. Don't be telling people where you go to school. Don't be telling people how old you are. Like, you don't need to divulge any personal information, right? Zero personal information, your age, your school, your state, none of it. They need to have zero access to your personal information. And even if it is a friend from school, you don't need to be talking about that stuff on social media. Like, you don't need to message them on Facebook to talk about it. Like, talk about that shit at school or do it in a text message. Don't put it on the internet because once it's on the internet, everybody has access to it.
Okay,
It just depends on how hard they're going to work to get to it.
Yeah. Baby, how old were you when you first logged on to, hold on, Facebook
MySpace.
or MySpace?
Mine was MySpace.
Mine was
So I wasn't
MySpace.
allowed to have MySpace. I was not allowed. I
Okay.
literally was not allowed. And my parents watched my internet history, like, was not allowed. I remember my dad specifically, found me on this stupid little, like, I don't even know what it was now, but it was like some stupid ass, like, doll website. Like, you go on, you pretend to be like a baby doll or whatever, and you like went and talked to random people or whatever. And
that's a pedophile's dream.
Right. And like I want to say I was like 12 or 13, and I didn't know what he was so freaking out about, but my dad freaked. At the time I had no idea why. But now I'm like, ooh, that was bad choices. So I
You know
wasn't allowed to
now.
have MySpace. Yeah, I know now. But I wasn't allowed to have MySpace for the same reason. My dad and my mom thought that it was. I remember my sister one time put uh, on Facebook, she put a Playboy bunny border on her profile picture. And my parents were like, absolutely not. Take that shit down right now.
Fuck no.
Like, it was not up for debate. And again, at the time, we were like, what are you flipping out about? Like, it's cute. Like,
No,
what are you freaking out about?
I remember when that happened and the Playboy bunny thing for the teenage girls, the young
Yeah.
teenage, was huge.
I'm not gonna lie. So when I lived in Vegas, when I was in high school, I think I was a junior, I had silk Playboy bunny bed sheets. They were all black with silver embroidered Playboy bunnies. My mom did not give a shit. They were silk black with the silver embroidered Playboy bunny on it, all over it. Matching
But at the same
pillowcase, matching
time, we
comforter,
had
whole 9 yards.
those stupid the I guess it was a meme before it was a meme, but the bunnies with all of the sayings that came with them, right? And it had the same shape as Playboy bunny. And she tried to explain it to my parents. My parents were like, absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not. And again, then didn't understand. Now completely understand.
I remember agreeing with your parents on that one.
I remember when I was younger and I used to go tan, and they had the stickers that you could stick on your body so that when you tanned, you had the outline of it, right? You had a tan line. And it was the tanning salon that my mom and I used to go to for a little while when I was younger. There was 2 stickers. You had a dolphin or you had a Playboy bunny. And I can tell you right now, the Playboy bunny basket was always less filled than the dolphin.
Do the teenage girls not know what Playboy bunny means?
No, I think we just genuinely thought it was cute. It wasn't the fact that that was the style then. Like I
But
want to say
my
early.
youngest daughter's going through the exact same phase right now where she loves the Playboy bunny emblem. Okay, she loves it.
Do
Okay.
not let her touch one. It is an advertisement.
Okay, and don't get me wrong, I know what Playboy is. Okay, obviously, being an adult now. And like I see why it's not good, right? Like you're basically advertising for, what
Sex.
Playboy stands for. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also think about well, these are all consenting women that chose to do this lifestyle. They chose to go be, in these magazines.
But they're
So,
adults.
But at the same
yes,
time,
they're
like,
adults. Yes.
I want
But
to say
if my daughter wants a Playboy bunny background on her phone, I'm not gonna be like, you can't have that as a Playboy. Like,
I'm
I'll be like,
sure as shit would.
But I
There
also
ain't
want to
no
say
fucking
that
way.
early 2000s to like 2010, everything was Playboy bunny.
Everything was Playboy.
Your shirts, your purses, your pants, everything was Playboy
Yeah,
bunny.
everything.
So
was
there was
Playboy.
no way to
you could have
avoid
shirts
it.
with Playboy on it. Now, granted, they didn't say Playboy.
It
They just
doesn't
had the
matter.
bunny.
It doesn't matter.
It would just have the bunny.
Well, I don't know
But
why
you
we
could
have
buy-
some of the biggest teen pregnancies in America.
You could have anything and everything you wanted with the Playboy bunny on it.
Yeah.
Like anything. Purses,
Shoes, pants,
socks,
shirts.
underwear, bras, t-shirts, you name it, had the Playboy bunny on it.
I will tell you, if I had a daughter, if she was anything younger than, I don't care if she was 17 years and 350 days old, there is not going to be one. She ain't going to have a Playboy bunny pencil, a background, nothing. There ain't
And
no
you don't
fucking
think
way.
that train of thought right there is what makes sex so taboo?
No, she will get a full. I have no problem talking to, my children or, I think sex should be talked about a lot more and more detail. I honestly do. That's not what I'm getting at. What the Playboy bunny represents is you're a whore. Sorry, that's when guys look at a girl that has a Playboy bunny on it. I am telling you from a guy, you guys can call me immature, whatnot, but when a guy sees a girl and she's got a bikini or Playboy bunny earrings or something like that, that's telling me she's easy. That every guy sees that and says she's easy because she's into porn.
Then I was a slut because I
was the biggest one around. My bed sheets, for crying out loud.
And there ain't no fucking way.
But I wasn't.
I think
obviously.
that's y'all's misrepresentation. Like, I don't want to say it's an empowerment for women, but on the same token, it kind of is. I mean, these were women who went against the very fold
The
that was
norm.
created for women,
Yeah.
right? They went against everything that women were supposed to be, because Playboy came out when?
Oh, in the 60s or 70s?
Speaking of super random, and maybe this is just because this is how my brain works and I'm super naive and don't look into this shit, but is Playboy bunnies still a thing now that Hugh Hefner's dead?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's running it now?
Holy fuck, I was way off.
My wife said it was December 1953.
Tell her she is exactly right, and don't Google it before me next time.
Damien says you're correct, honey. She says I know.
Because she fucking Googled it first.
Yeah.
But-
okay. Anyway. Okay. So in the 50s.
Full
Okay. So
bush.
these were women that had the future idea that women could be powerful, independent, and in control of their sexuality.
Why is
And I think that's a good thing. I think that's great. Now don't get me wrong. It's gone. I don't agree with pornography at this current state and age of my life. Okay. I don't agree with like video recorded pornography. I think pictures, cool, whatever, like Hustler, Playboy, whatever the fuck else there is out there, cool, whatever. I don't agree in like the recording of pornography or internet access to it for my own reasons. But I think that these women at that time, like, they wanted to be empowered. They saw that women eventually would one day be in control of their own sexuality and who and what they say yes to. And these women took that upon themselves and stood out from all the rest. They completely changed the curve. And they were like, we don't have to be like you, who submits to your husband, always says yes, and basically has zero choice in when or who or where or what she gives her body to. So they chose to give their body to what they wanted to stand for. And what they wanted to stand for was independence in their own sexuality.
I don't agree with it at all, because I'm sorry just because you have a nice set of tits and ass and you get paid for that, that takes no intelligence whatsoever. That's
Doesn't
not
matter.
That's not empowerment.
At the time when
get
it came
naked?
out, that was.
To get naked. Okay.
Because it was so taboo. It was so unheard of.
I want to see hands. Both your hands. I need to see hands, so you're not Googling this. Both.
Mine is under a blanket.
Okay.
You're not seeing it.
So, who, without asking your wife because she can Google it, who was the first person on the first cover of Playboy?
I don't know. Marilyn Monroe? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I was going to say Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn. Definitely not Pamela Anderson.
Hey!
Goddamn right. Yeah. Look at that. That's women empowerment right there. She stood out from all the fucking rest.
She was a complete slut. I love her, but
care.
she was a slut.
I don't care.
She was also like a size 14 and gorgeous.
Why?
Actually, no.
Why does she?
She was not a 14. That's an urban myth. She was a 7.
She was a bigger woman, though.
She was a 7. She was a 7.
Time.
She is a today's 14.
No. I just watched a whole interview with her, somebody who did publishing for her, and wanted to lay that to rest and say Marilyn Monroe was not. She was skinny. She had big hips, but her waist was tiny.
I don't know. I've seen pictures of her, and she's not like your tiny model woman that you see today.
No, she's not anorexic.
Or like even compared to like Audrey Hepburn, she was not as skinny.
She's not
as Audrey
anorexic.
Hepburn.
No, she had curves. But this whole myth that she was, I'm sorry, fat girls say Marilyn Monroe was 14 to make themselves feel better. It's not true.
Oh, that's fucking rude. But, okay, so I just looked up what size was Marilyn Monroe in today. Okay. It says Marilyn Monroe's size today, considered vanity sizing, where sizes have grown larger over time, would likely be a U.S. size 6 or 8, or perhaps a U.S. size 4, much smaller than the U.S. size 12 or UK size 16, often cited from the 1950s.
Yes.
Okay, yes, right, but that was bigger for back then. If you were anything above a fucking 3, you were considered big.
No,
Yes.
that's why does everybody argue with the guy that grew up in the fucking time? I'm
You grew up
telling
in the
you.
50s. Nice try, though. You're not that old.
No, but my dad did, and I grew up in the 70s. Women have been pretty much, we've gotten bigger, but back then, there was no double zeros or ones. 6 or 7 was considered a very in shape, skinny woman. That was normal back then. I don't know where this whole myth of women were like massively skinny and she was considered fat. Marilyn Monroe was considered, she was hot, but she was considered average. And the reason she was considered hot was because she was a sex symbol. She did do things that other women didn't do. She walked provocatively. She danced provocatively. She did roles that were provocative. She did things that no women of that era did not do. That's why she was considered so sexy. Not
that's why
because
she
she
did
was
Playboy.
That's yes, she did
Look,
Playboy.
I don't
and all
care
that.
if doing Playboy is a brainless job. Look, okay, if I was the sexiest woman on planet but didn't have a fucking brain, what do you think I'm going to do to make my money and make my wealth? I'm going to
Give,
use the assets that were given to me. I wouldn't call that stupid. I'd call that smart.
how
If I
about
was a
you get
genius
married to
and
a
could
man
cure,
and
if I was a genius and could cure cancer, I'd go fucking cure cancer because that's what I was gifted with. So
So,
I don't think women who are gifted in their appearances are any less smarter than me or you or anybody else in this world just because they're using what they were given in order to make their money. I just don't agree with like internet pornography and videos and stuff. I think it's a horrible business.
Damien,
But do all the playboys and hustlers that you want to do.
look up Marilyn Monroe for me, and then we'll compare. Because I just looked up the average size for women in the 50s.
My money's on Sonia.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Okay. How tall was Marilyn Monroe?
Hold on.
Do you want me to ask my wife? She's pretty fast at this.
Because I'm pretty sure I read that she was like a 30-something waist.
Do.
Bigger than me.
Okay. Okay, what do you want? How tall was she?
Uh-huh.
5'6".
Okay, so she was
Way
actually
taller than me.
taller.
She was tall.
Would you both shut the fuck up? Thanks. So she was actually taller than the average 1950s woman.
Yeah.
1950s woman was actually about 5'2".
that's me.
Oh God.
Damien, what did her waist measure?
Okay. Hold on. They have different years. So we'll use 1954. We'll use February. So she was 5'6", 120 pounds, 36, 24, 34.
Okay. So the average waist for a woman in the 1950s was 27.5.
Okay, she was a
Bro, that's
24,
me.
so 4, 5, 6, 7. So she was 3 inches smaller than the average.
Smaller hips and a 34B bra size.
So, okay, so she had a 3-inch smaller waist and she had big tits.
Often wearing a U.S. size 10 or 12.
For what? Oh,
For
no.
1950s average woman.
Yes, they are using European sizes. Anytime
Okay,
you read
first
that,
of all, you need to chill out. Second of all, no, because it's size 10 or 12 now is
okay,
small, but then that was average.
okay.
That's not saying that they were fat or that they were.
No, I'm saying your sizes are wrong. They were around a 6 or a 7. The size 12 is a European size.
Well, it said US, so.
Because because they're saying Marilyn Monroe was a size 12. She was not a size 12 with a 24-inch waist. Hannah, are you a size 12?
I don't know. I wear men's.
Well, you fucking suck.
But I know I have a 27-inch waist.
Okay, and you're not I can look at you're not a 12.
It's probably a 28 by now.
Okay.
I do know I wear men's jeans, but I wear the tightest I can fit into is like a 31 because I have bigger hips. Which
Yeah,
men
because
do
you
not
got
have,
female
so.
hits. you
Yeah.
got the female hits. But whenever they say size 12, this is such a misconception for women in the 50s and 60s and some in the 70s that they keep on saying, well, the size has changed. No, they're still a 6 or a 7. Marilyn Monroe had a 24-inch waist. That's a fucking waist like that big. That's a tiny waist.
I never said that she didn't have a small waist. I
But a
didn't say that. I was
lot
just
of-
asking.
A lot of women had that waist.
But
Wh-
they
wh-
wore corsets and stuff too.
No. No, that's just not a thing. I mean, women have gotten fatter in the modern times.
Brewski.
What are you doing, handsome?
He looks chunky.
Yeah,
He
the
is.
average
He's
weight.
fat.
Hold on.
Oh. Yeah, like, we got him a Bucky sweater.
Mm.
He's representing. It's camouflage. Can you stop
Damien,
sniffing
you
that?
think that pants that are a size 10 now are the same as the size 10 then?
Who's up there? Huh? Who's up there? Oh, the
To a
baby.
point, depending on the brand. But when the problem that, and no, not,
Why are you making
No.
that face?
yeah,
Because he thinks that sizes haven't changed.
no, they're not the same. But when they say a size, because everywhere you read, Marilyn Monroe was a 12 or a 14. She wasn't. She was a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
And she was a 6 or a 7 back then, too. She didn't.
Look. I
She
don't want
bought
to sit here and
European
argue
pants.
fucking sizes all day, okay? But can we just agree that she was not the stick figure?
Right. She
Okay.
wasn't
She was a very
anorexic.
full-figured woman.
She was a full figure, right? She
Okay.
had the hourglass figure. She had thick hips, okay? She probably had a big busty butt. She had probably some really big honkers, okay?
But
And
she weighed
she-
about 10 pounds less than the average woman.
But she was just built different. She was not a stick.
Right.
Okay, she
What
was a
actually-
stump.
What do you think the average weight for a 50s woman was?
Probably 125 to 135.
130 pounds. What's the average weight for a woman in 2025?
Oh, God.
180.
170 to 180.
Sweet. I'm average. Love that for me.
I am so below average.
I hate you.
Look, once I start working out again and I get back up to 150, we'll be all right. But 150 is like as heavy as I will go. It's so much weight.
But it's a different 150. It's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I'm short and
muscle.
stocky.
It's not chunk.
And it's just a lot to carry around. Let me tell you. I remember like
It's definitely
going for
not
a run.
tits.
I remember going for a run one time when I was at my heaviest, and let me tell you, trying to carry 150 pounds on your knees when you're running,
Why are you running on your knees?
bro.
Most of us run on our feet. I don't know about you, but I don't get down on my
God.
knees and go for a run.
You know what the fuck I mean, bastard. Okay, but it's a lot. It fucking hurts. Okay.
I don't run, so I wouldn't know.
That's because you're not part of the
See
itty bitty
these?
titty committee.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
prevent
you'll get-
from running.
You'll get 2 black eyes by
Yeah.
taking 3 steps.
I remember I tried running for like, I think a week, like a solid week. Like I took Atlas and like we ran, right? No, by the end of the week, I cried. My chest hurts so much.
You're gonna have a really, really good sports bra.
No, she wore
yeah,
two.
those don't exist.
She
Yeah,
wore
they
two.
don't exist. I wore a bra, a normal bra, and then I squished those babies down with a sports bra that was like a size and a half too small, just to squish them down.
Was it a high resistance one or was it a low?
I don't fucking know.
Because
It
that
was a
makes the
sports
difference.
bra.
The high resist ones, the elasticity in them is a lot less, so they don't leave a whole lot of stretch room in order for your shit to move.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
they
Fucking
move.
20 pounds is 20 pounds. I don't care what you're trying to hold that back
Yeah,
with.
I actually weigh like 165. It's just 20 pounds of it's all tit.
And
Makes running impossible.
and thicker thighs.
Yeah.
You don't have thigh gap.
Saved my phone once or twice.
I don't have a thigh gap either. But man, let me tell you, I can't wait to start like fucking pushing weight with my legs again. My legs have gotten so small. My butt has gotten so small. Like, I cannot wait to start pushing weight again with my legs.
At least you have a butt.
I do.
I do not.
It's a little smaller, but
You have an
we'll get
ass.
there.
I have 2 pillows. 2 very
Look.
flat pillows.
I like flat pillows. Ask my wife. My pillow on my bed is pretty flat. Look, as long as there's a little cushion, you're doing all right.
Thanks, girl.
Okay.
As long as there's a little cushion. There's
Yeah, little-
there's
Nobody wants a sheet for a pillow. Okay, there's got to be a little bit of cushion at least. That cushion may only be 2 cotton balls, but that's still cushion.
You don't fit. You
He's-
don't fit.
he's trying to.
I know.
He's
He does
trying
not
to.
fit though.
So do we have anything else we want to argue about, or are we good? It's been an hour and 55 minutes, so
I think we're good.
all
We
right.
argued enough. I think Nanook is ready for your guys'
Nanook
attention.
is
Yeah, clearly he's
ready.
ready for our attention.
Yeah. Actually,
Jeez,
we
I'm
could
Well,
you
we
could
can
just put
ground it.
him you could just put him in front of you put your dog, we'll put our dog in front of the camera for another hour, and we'll see how many people fast forward
know.
us talking
Wait,
just to look at the dogs.
Oh my god, the sploot.
Frog legs.
It's
All
not a
right.
real sploot.
All right. Everybody, thank you very much. Like and share. It helps us out.
then he's
We're on
gone.
Spotify.
Like, share,
we're on
comment.
everything. TikTok.
Yes.
Go ahead and
can't-
email us.
Can't wait for the she's so stupid comments. I look forward to those every week. I'm like, let's see how many people called me stupid this week.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
Night, guys. Love you.
Bye.